big goal for this year has been, as far as physicality, yeah, I teach my children.
Please hang up and try again.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie and you're watching Reliable Roots, and today's video is our halfway through the homeschool year update about how we are going, what we are doing. I meant to do this way back in August. It has definitely been an eventful year, a lot of busyness, and I apologize for the lateness of this. But it's actually a good thing because we're halfway through and a lot has changed since when I would have done this way back in like August. This is our fifth year officially homeschooling. This is the last year in which I'm only officially homeschooling 2 children. Next year, my youngest will be starting kindergarten, and then it'll change all over again. So this year, the big thing that's different is that for the past 3 to 4 years, so 3 years, we have been doing a Waldorf-inspired curriculum. So I started out with Earth Schooling. Still love that curriculum, haven't done it in a few years. And then I switched over to Oak Meadow because Oak Meadow was a nice balance between the Waldorf philosophy and more traditional schooling. And I went ahead and bought the Waldorf 4th grade curriculum, and I will hopefully try to bring you a curriculum review of that here soon. We hardly even cracked it open. I mean, I did open it up, I started to look through it, and immediately, I don't know, there was just something about it that I was just like, you know, I think we're going to try something different. I decided to go with The Good and the Beautiful for several reasons. I have a number of friends who have loved The Good and the Beautiful. They've been using it for years, and they say nothing but wonderful things about The Good and the Beautiful. That was reason number 1. Reason number 2 is that it was free. So the language arts is completely free. Online, you can just download it. However, I would definitely recommend actually buying it because when you download it, it is a lot of printing. And I have an old-fashioned kind of printer, and so some sides are all mixed up and stuff like that, so I would definitely recommend buying it, having it all bound and everything like that. So I got the free language arts just to try it out, and I realized, you know, I kind of like this, so I went ahead and bought the rest of it because with that, the thing that's not free on that, so they reference a lot of other things that you have to buy. So like in there, they're like, okay, now do your sentences or do your handwriting and do your spelling workshops. Well, those are not included in the language arts curriculum that's for free. It's like they have the main lesson book, but then they also have these spelling and handwriting workshop sort of books. Those are not free. So I did end up buying all those, and then on top of that I was like, you know, let's try out their history curriculum and let's go ahead and try out their science curriculum. One of their science curriculums, I can't remember if I paid for that. I think it might have been free as well. But it's a challenging curriculum in comparison to what we have done. Now, coming in and out of the Waldorf philosophy, as I'm kind of seeming to do, I don't want to give up the Waldorf philosophy by any means. Especially I've got a new one coming up next year in kindergarten. I'd like to go back to the Waldorf philosophy. If anything, I've already got all the curriculum for Oak Meadow. I would rather not have to buy new curriculum and just completely change everything around. I really like the delayed academics. That's it. So in early education, and when I say early education, I mean elementary years, there's a lot of emphasis on handwork. Things that you don't usually find in a normal school, and that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about the Waldorf philosophy. A lot of hand knitting, a lot of arts and crafts and that sort of thing. A lot of movement, that singing, exercise, the nature walks. It's all very fundamental to the Waldorf philosophy. I love that, and I don't want to get away from that. But as my oldest gets a little bit older, she is not necessarily liking circle time so much anymore. She's not necessarily liking that time, and it's becoming a little bit more challenging to meet her needs in her developmental level, while also meeting the needs of the younger 2. And next year will be a whole nother ball of wax. But anyway, so we did The Good and the Beautiful this year. Again, not sure if I'm going to continue on with that, but it's been nice. It's been very strenuous. That was the whole point of that, is that coming back, it's challenging because we are on a delayed academic kind of schedule with Waldorf. And then we go over to The Good and the Beautiful, and it's not delayed at all. And so we're learning different fundamentals of language arts that we haven't touched on before. So yeah, there's that. The Good and Beautiful History. This curriculum I really enjoyed. There's only 4 parts to it. I think that we might end up doing all 4 parts because I'm really enjoying it. The girls are really enjoying it. It comes with a fun game that we've really enjoyed playing. It covers a large span of history. It covers multiple ages. There's these explorer books that they get to create. There's read-alouds that are online that you can actually listen to. There's actual books that you're going to be reading with your students. I really am enjoying the history curriculum. The science curriculum, I'll be completely honest, I have not even gotten it out of the package yet. And that's just sometimes how it goes. Like I said, we do a flow of different types. Like during this time is more like a history time during the winter. Now in the springtime, we will do a lot more science because science has to do with hands-on, being outside. That's really when we like to do our science, is mostly in the spring. We also did a music theory book. We've been doing music here and there a little bit for years now, but what I really wanted to do was get my children so that they can actually read music. The reason why is very simple, because then it will be a lot easier for them to practice on their own. They won't need me to actually, and we're also learning piano and recorder. That's the 2 things that we have been doing. Now, I also have a ukulele I would like to get them involved in. So there's a lot of different instruments. At this age, I'm not looking for mastery of any of those. I'm looking for them to develop a passion for something of those, if they do. And if not, music is very important to the fundamental development of brains, cells, and all that kind of stuff. So we switched up the music theory book, however. So the very first book that I had, it was nice, it was enjoyable, it was a little bit older, I think. There wasn't any kind of visualizations in it. It was very just kind of cut and dried. I think it'd be great for middle school and above, but for elementary school, I switched over to this other curriculum that I'm really excited about. We haven't gotten started on it yet, but already I'm liking the visuals. I'm liking how there's actually, I bought 3 books that all are coordinated with each other. So there's a lesson book, and then there's a theory book, and then there's a recital book. But there's lots of playing involved and lots of hands-on activity work with all of those. Also, we bought this Spanish workbook. Gotta be honest, I was pretty disappointed in this. The reason why is because I feel that I don't feel, this is a fact, is that there is a connection between your mind and your hand. That's why handwriting is so important. That's why writing things down rather than typing them or texting them, it actually really solidifies that in your brain, whatever it is that you are trying to learn, whether you're taking notes. It's just so much more beneficial to write it down with your pen, with your hand. And the thing that I really don't like about this is that it has a lot of visualizations that you are just simply supposed to speak the words out loud. There's not a whole lot of writing involved. And so it's like they give you this page of different colors or whatever. You're supposed to speak it out loud. And every time I've done this, we've spoke the words like 10 times the next day, 10 times the next day, 10 times, and we still don't end up memorizing the colors. So the colors of the days of the week. So I will probably not be moving forward with this kind of Spanish curriculum. The search for the Spanish curriculum continues. I think this is like my 3rd year trying to find a Spanish curriculum that works, and it just hasn't happened yet. The other thing that we started doing this past semester is American Heritage Girls. Now, this is an awesome community program. It's similar to like Girl Scouts. There are badges that the girls earn. They do all sorts of service projects. They learn about their country. They learn about crafting and arts, cooking, sewing. I mean, all sorts of different things. There's campouts and there's lock-ins, and we have just had a blast with it. And I was speaking to some of the other mothers about the badge work, and a lot of them also homeschool, and one of them brought up the fact that they're like, well, we just use our AHG, American Heritage Girls book, as our curriculum. And I was like, well, that's fabulous. I love that idea, because not only are you learning, but it's inspiring for the girls, because they are actually they're going to get a badge for actually doing their work. So it gives them a little bit of motivation to do the work and to learn about the work, and there's lots of hands-on projects. So that's something else that we have been incorporating, and we will continue to incorporate into the spring semester. I also did buy the handwriting books for preschool, 2nd grade, and 4th grade as well. Now, these have been extremely beneficial. If for nothing else, they give the girls something to do while I am working with another student on something individual, because that's really important. my children, I don't know about your children, but my children have like a 2-second time limit. So if I'm not right there helping them, then it's very easy for them to get distracted. So the handwriting is very, very helpful, that they can work on their penmanship while I'm working one-on-one with math or language arts or whatever it would be. Now, as far as the math goes, this year I decided to go with Singapore math. Now, I've heard great things about Singapore math. This, I don't know if this would even be considered a curriculum. These are just math workbooks that I found on Amazon. And there's whole sets. I just bought the one per level, and the levels are kind of weird. It's like for the 4th grade you would buy a level 3, and for the 2nd grade you would buy a level 1. And I found them good and bad. I personally like them because they do take fundamentals to the next level. They make sure that the student are really grasping the fundamentals of math before moving on to different concepts. So I've seen a lot of reviews on Singapore math where parents will say that, oh, it's way too easy for my student. Well, not so much. I don't think, at least for my students, it's actually pretty spot on. Now, they're not enjoying it as much as more hands-on math would be. So I'm not sure, again, if I'm going to stick to that next year. We might try out, I know there was another math curriculum, I forgot what it was. We have done the Waldorf-based math curriculum. The Good and Beautiful also has a math curriculum, which I've heard good things about as well. So in general with math, one thing that we are trying to do more of is cooking. We've been doing a lot of cooking, and also games. So I have a simple math bingo game. I have Yahtzee. Monopoly has been a huge hit. It's something that all 3 of them and myself can play as well. So there's been a few things that we've been able to incorporate more hands-on math. The other thing that I got this year was the More Than Words Bible study. Now, I bought this back when I was planning on doing the Oak Meadow curriculum. And the reason for that is Oak Meadow is a secular curriculum, and I wanted to incorporate some biblical concepts into their homeschool. But the Good and the Beautiful is a Christian curriculum, so they already incorporate Bible verses and Bible stories into their curriculum. So we are still using More Than Words. It's fabulous. It is really kind of like a devotional time. It's only 4 days a week, which is great for 36 weeks. That's how it's broken out into, which is wonderful because I put so much into our homeschool that I hardly ever finish all of the curriculums that we kind of piece together and put together. It's very rare that I'm ever able to do that. And so a 4-day week to me is perfect, because usually I try to aim for a 4-day week, knowing that it will usually end up being a 5-day week, just because we'll get behind here. We have a dentist appointment or a doctor's appointment, or someone is sick or whatever it may be. And so usually it'll turn into a 5-day curriculum. Also, the big thing that we have been trying to do as far as physical education this year is that it was very important that at least 2 out of my 3 children learn how to swim. So this has been, years in the making, that we've had to battle just common phobias with not wanting to get the eyes wet and the face wet. So we've been working on that, and our goal was to not do anything else until we have actually learned how to swim. And when I say learn how to swim, I mean that I feel comfortable enough that if we were on a boat and they jumped off into the water, that they would not drown. That sort of, you can swim. I'm not looking for Olympic athletes at this age. Of course, if they want to be that, that's fine too. But that was my main goal. However, we got to a point where we were doing pretty good with swimming, and then it got colder. And even though our pool that we go to is an indoor pool, it's a cold indoor pool. I mean, I'm such a wimp when it comes to that kind of stuff, is that it gets cold. So I'm wimping out for this winter, and we're going to just put a pause on that, and I'm okay with that. We'll pick it up again probably in the springtime or the late spring or summer. In the meantime, I'm really excited that the girls have decided to get into other activities. So I've got one that's going into roller hockey, and then 2 others that are going into ballet, and it's really enjoyable because they have not been able to do that kind of stuff in person for a very long time. Not necessarily because of the pandemic, more just because of schedules and time restraints and that sort of thing. So that is halfway through the school year, what we are doing. Comment below, let me know how your school year is going. Are you changing things? Are you completely switching things up? Are you liking what you're doing? If you have a Spanish curriculum that you enjoy, please let me know. I am apparently always going to be in search of a good Spanish curriculum. And I hope you have a wonderful and happy new year. Thanks for watching. Bye!